Okay, this video, I'm trying to help you be able to see what to do when the elimination method is presented to you, and adding them or subtracting them is not going to work. So let's take a look at this one that was from your homework. I'll even go ahead and show you what the answer is to this. It's -6, -9. That way you're just not sitting here wondering what to do with it all. Um, Let me get a highlighter out here too, so that way we can look at it. When you look at this, you've got an x here and you've got an 8x there. So if you added them together, it would be 9x. But over here, you've got a positive 6y and a negative 3y, and that would be positive 3y when you add them together. And so the adding is not going to work. Subtracting them will not eliminate one of these either. And so you've got a decision to make. You need to do some multiplication on these equations, and it does not matter if you are scared about what to do. You could literally take this positive 1x and multiply it by -8. But, you know, 8 is a rather big number to use, especially when you're going to have to use -8 times -60 over here. So what I start to look at is you know what? If I could multiply this bottom -3y by positive 2, well, that would make it -6y. Ah, yes, that's much better. And then 2 times 8x is 16x. See how they just fit together? And then 2 times -21 is -42. And then I could just take this equation right here that I didn't touch and put it right below it. And now suddenly, what I'm hoping to show you is that these line up perfectly to be added together and it will cancel out. And that was the whole purpose of our multiplying, but we can't just multiply the -3y by 2. We had to multiply it by something to get it to what we want, in this case a -6y. So now let's just add these together. 1x plus 16x is 17x. These cancel out, and this would be -102. Divide both sides by 17, and x equals indeed -6, just like we said it would right here. And then getting the second variable is always the same for the most part. You go back to one of these equations. I don't care which one. I like that top one. You take the x value that you solved for and you put it in where you see the x. It doesn't sit beside it. It literally replaces it. Now we solve it as a two-step equation right here. And we get 6y equals, be careful, this is -54. Sometimes I make a mistake and I would consider that like -66. You've got to be careful there. -60 plus 6 is -54. Pull out a calculator and double check it. You'll see what I mean. But y equals -9, just like we said it would. So let's take a look at this one right here, and let's play the little game here for the most part. This is a positive 3y. This is a positive 9y. I know that I can multiply this by 3 and make it 9. I know I can multiply this 3y by -3 and make it -9y, and then it would be perfect to cancel each other out. However, you never know where you're going to get that ideal matchup, and sometimes you don't get a matchup, and you have to change both equations. This 7x cannot easily become 11x, and I can't easily make the 11x into a 7x. What we could do, and I just wanted to show you this, is I can multiply both of these to get my x's to what I want them to be. What's 11 times 7? 77. So let's multiply the top by 11 and the bottom by -77. Or excuse me, by -7. 11 times 7x is 77x. 11 times 9y is 99y. And this will be like a really big number there. Let's do the second one in blue. What's -7 times 11x? -77x. -7 times 3y would be -21y. And again, -7 times 42 would be like a really big number. But my point is, I go through all of that, changing both of the equations, not to make life harder, But indeed, to make my life easier, see, I could add these two equations together and my x's would cancel out. And this would be 78y equals some large number. Thankfully, I don't have to do that. But if I went through all the steps and pulled up my calculators and finished that problem up, I would solve and I would get the correct answer of 9, negative 19. However, what I see here is that I don't have to do that. Going back to that original thing, if I could just have this be a negative 9y. If this became negative 9y, it would cancel out with this 9y here. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't sit there in fear of it. I just know I have to multiply this positive 3y by negative 3. And that will make it negative 9y. And then I just go with whatever results from the other multiplication with the distribution. Negative 3 times 11x is negative 33x. Negative 3 times 42 is negative 126. It's a larger number, not something I really like, but you know what? I only had to multiply one equation, and I like that pretty good. So my y's would cancel out when I add them together. This would be a negative 26x. This would be negative 234. And when I divide both sides by negative 26, I find out that x is 9. And then I can plug it back into either one of these equations. I like the top one better. 7 times 9 plus 9y equals negative 108. Now again, my equation was 7x plus 9y equals negative 108. You can choose any of the equations. I chose this one. This x we know is 9, and so I made it 9. And what's that x doing to the 7? It's multiplying it. So this 9 is still going to multiply the 7, and that's 63 plus 9y equals negative 108. Minus both of them by 63. And then I can divide both by 9, and that equals negative 19. So let's do one more. Let me find a good problem for us. I like number 19 from our homework here. You know, I could easily take this positive 1 and multiply it by negative 17 to make this negative 17x, and then we could add that up and that'd cancel it out. But think about it. The negative 17 times negative 5 is a large number. Negative 17 times negative or positive 15 would be even larger. Let's hold off on that and take a look at our y's before we commit. Here we go. This is negative 15y. If we could just make this right here a positive 15y, it would just cancel out. Well, if I multiplied it by negative 3, we can make that happen. Now, do you want to multiply by a negative 17 or by a negative 3? Me, I vote for the negative 3. So let's just go through and multiply it. Negative 3 times 1x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 5y is 15y. And negative 3 times 15 is negative 45. Much easier than multiplying by negative 17. Let me rewrite the top equations. That way we can just combine these together with addition. Let's see, that'll be 14x equals, I believe it's negative 210. And forgive me if this is not negative 210. I'm just trying to do it all without a calculator, but we would divide both sides by 14, and x should be negative 15. Okay. Then we just take this x value and plug it in, probably into the second equation. So let's just go ahead and do that. Negative 15 minus 5y equals 15. You could certainly plug it into this one, but do you really want to multiply 17 by negative 15 and then add a certain amount over to negative 165? Probably not. Plus 15 to both sides to solve this. And we're left with negative 5y equals 30. Divide both sides by negative 5. And y, in this case, it equaled negative 6, just like we thought it would. So, take a little bit of time determining which number you want to multiply an equation by, if needed. Sometimes the second set of variables is easier than the first, and you know, uh, don't sit there and wonder, well, I don't know what to multiply by. Get your calculator out. What can you times this number that you're wanting to change, to get it to what you want it to be? So if you didn't know your math facts too well, is it positive 3 or negative 3? Check it on your calculator, and then you could go, oh, okay, I need to multiply negative 5 by negative 3 to get this positive 15. And so, just double check with the calculator. Have a little bit of a spirit of experimentation, and you'll get better at this multiplication style being used in elimination before you know it.